Good day.
Very good day.
It's been
Very good
brilliant,
day.
man. It's brilliant.
And welcome back to the Black Lodge. It's me, David, at Drinks Whiskey. You're here for Saturday Night Drams. And a wee bit late tonight. May or may not have something to do with Scotland giving us all an absolute heart attack. I had to leave, run down, do bits, run back up, try and fix. I had some other wee bits to do for the stream tonight, all between watching the game and then getting the updates. So if someone in the chat can let me know, is it all to play for on Tuesday or did Denmark nick it? Because I don't know. I know we get beat in the end, our own fault for no scoring chances, but if anybody in chat can let me know, brilliant. I know we're not a football stream, but that's what's been going on. Anyway, I'm back. I made it back from Glasgow. I feel like every time I go to the Glasgow Whisky Festival, it's a little bit like, to paraphrase Harry Potter, Horcruxes. I feel like I leave another little part of my soul, a part of me, in Glasgow when I leave the Glasgow Whisky Festival. It was a phenomenal weekend, as you can see from that tiny, tiny little teaser I put together. I will be editing the video, but it's in the backlog of things to come. But as you're aware, tonight we will be talking about what happened in Glasgow, what went down, what chat was there, what rumours did we hear, what did we hear about whiskey. There's a few of you already in the chat that I met there, that I know who were there, who probably found out more stuff than I did. We're going to share all that, we're going to get into it. But as always, it's fantastic to have you all in. I'm going to jump to the chat. I've not even poured a dram yet. I've not even had time to pour a dram, so I'll need to get that sorted in a second. But first up, I'm going to call out, I'm going to try and pronounce this again, even though he told me. I met him for the first time on Saturday. Kujo Guai 4899. He explained the username. It made sense at the time. It's a combo name. It made sense at the time, but Eli, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, and I still cringe that I called you Elijah to my friends, so I do apologise about that. It was Eli. Thanks for correcting me, Eli. Pleasure to meet you and see you there. Let's see what else the chat is saying. We've got, who else is in? We've got Toby in. Toby, great to have you in. Where are we? What's going on with this chat here? Why has it been a wee bit funny? We've got Dutch Dura saying he's just, what, is this chat up to date? Is this old chat? What's going on here? You'll need to see, there's always gremlins. It seems to know have caught up with everything. But I can see on the actual YouTube chat, so I'll just call out some of them. Toby, great to have you in. Peated, as always, great seeing you, Chief, at the weekend. Hope you're keeping well. Lowlander's in. All right, mate, how you doing? Ray's in, brilliant. Dutch Dura's in, I've mentioned already. We've got, there we go, the chat's went a wee bit funny, we've got Toby there. Who else have we got? I should really bring this over here, and then I can actually just look at you guys as I'm talking to it rather than looking away from you. Tom's in. Tom, great to have you in. Time if you fully emphasise all the Glasgow banter. I know, it was, we'll get into it I don't want to indulge in it, but I'm going to sit in it. I've got to make the most of it. Alan, yes, absolutely. It was brilliant. Lolander saying he recognised a few faces from the montage. I tried to do it. I tried to just put wee snippets in for everybody. Ian's there. Ian, great to have you in. Julian's came in. Right, here we go. Brilliant news. Derek, great to see you, mate. I need to drop you a message about your t-shirt. We're going to get it sorted, because I don't know if you meant... Tell me if you meant to order the first one that you've ordered the second one of, because I think I know what's happened there, and I'll sort it. Lolander's saying, so it finished 2 each. Brilliant, because I'm going to Glasgow for the game on Tuesday. A flying visit. So I'm glad that there's actually something to play for, because otherwise it'd just be make your own fun. Let's see. Make sure coming down. I'm seeing people talking about the drams already. Ian saying we're in the same room a few times, didn't get time to chat. Hopefully next time. Absolutely, mate, because it's just a message. Even Patreons and stuff, like, I never... The time is so truncated, and you're so just constant, and we will talk about that tonight. Ray saying can't stay, just saying hi. Always a pleasure, mate. Just thanks for popping in. MB Maltman, brilliant to have you in as well. And Billy's sitting, lovely glass of lovely Aaron Sherry Cask, and Bowman's came in as well. Brilliant. Guys, bit admin, if you can leave likes, thumbs up, all the usual stuff, it helps the stream get out to people that end up finding us during the stream, so it's much appreciated if you can do that. I appreciate people have been at whiskey shows today. There's whiskey shows going on in London. People at football, people watching the football, people out Saturday night. I know a lot of people might not be able to make it now, but if you're watching on catch up, please guys, leave a comment. It helps the channel immensely. As usual, what he's drinking, what's in the glass tonight? I am going to do my usual dram cam. Here we go. I'm going to start. I normally start with a Glenmorangie 12 to set the palate, but I fancy something a wee bit richer tonight, so I'm kicking off with the Glenmorangie 14 that you can see here. It's a lovely drop. This was on offer on Amazon a month or so ago, I think, a couple of months ago. I think it was like 35 quid. It was ridiculous for the money. So I should have poured that on the mic, shouldn't I, so you could have heard it. But I've got that on the go, and a wee lovely Spaten German beer to wet the whistle before the stream. So Glasgow, it's came, it's went, it's been fantastic. That's going to be the focus tonight. We're going to be talking, I've got my wee notes for once, we're going to be talking about broadly what I got up to. We'll be talking about the actual festival itself. We'll be talking about next year's and everything in between as well. I don't want it to be just Glasgow, because there'll be people that won't be there and it's envious. So please fire in. There's been a lot of whiskey news that I still need to catch up on. I'd taken yesterday off to do bits for the stream, to do bits for the channel, to do some editing, to put a news segment together, and unfortunately my daughter got quite ill on Thursday and all day yesterday on my day off. So I had to step, dad duties called, so we never got the time to do any of that. Managed to get some wee bits done today. She was much better, thankfully, just a wee virus. And the timing was good, because usually it happens when I'm going away and then I need to leave my poor wife to pick it up, the saint that she is. So it's a bit all over the place tonight, with a focus, a central theme, but you guys know, if you've watched the stream before, that's exactly what we are all about. Cheers to you all. Oh, it's lovely. Just eases in. For all the doubters and all the haters, sometimes you just need something like that jamminess, that fruitiness that hits. Alright, enough of listening to me talking about jamminess and fruitiness. Let's get back to the chat. I'm seeing I'm seeing quite a few. I'm going to pull up Koju, and Lowlander's talking about the same thing here, and they're talking about the Fragrant drops bottle. A lot of praise for that, and Dramface have just published an article. It's now becoming an annual article of the festival, that's been written with such love and passion. It's beautiful. And Fragrant drops get quite a few shout-outs, and I've seen quite a few people mention it already on Instagram of their dram of the show. Was a Fragrant drops Glengarry, and everything in my power not to buy it, because I'm shooting off in Glengarry land. But if you've had it, let me know. It's definitely something that people are interested in. I accidentally turned the music off there, but we do have music tonight, thank goodness. Because you're saying favourite for me had to be from the Thompson brothers table. Had a Dornoch and then their 33 Island Mystery Malt. Both on opposite ends of age and flavour profiles, but both amazing. I'm so glad you got to try those. Brilliant. Was it both of them? Let me just get this right. Were they both mystery malts? Because we had the Dornoch mystery. One of my mates, I think it was Ben, got the Dornoch, and we would never have placed it. And then the other one was the Brackla, the Royal Brackla. They were great. I had the Glengarry on the table, which was lovely. It was great, but I think it was I think it was my second dram of the show, and so the palate was a bit, what's going on here? Because the first one I'd had was the Brave New Spirits Speyside blend, which was unbelievable. Really good drop. Simon, great to have you in, mate. Loch Lomond 14 the night in Alan's Glass. Great. He's just good stuff, man. Tom's on an old Ardnamurchan AD for me. Lovely stuff. It's great. Christian's on the Ardnamurchan 10. I had that. So when we went to the Ardnamurchan stand, everybody's pulling, give me that and that. And I was like, just give me the 10. I want to try the 10. Because I was lucky to have tried the Heritage Barley, which everybody loved, in London. So I was like, I'm going to drink stuff that I don't know. So I just went for the new 10, and it was great. I've got a wee bit of, excuse me a wee second. A wee bit of sniffles, but only since I came in the cabin. I don't know if it's a wee bit cold. Ian's saying, random choice in glass, a circumstance grain. Brilliant. It's good stuff though, so it's not really hardship on you there, is it, Ian? As Lowlander says, making really interesting stuff. Ian, Alan tried the Ardnamurchan Heritage Balance. You're still not getting on the Ardna bandwagon, mate. Look, I think you're either going to vibe with it or not. I'm sure eventually they'll get to something that tickles your palate. That Heritage Barley, last year they did a load of single cast releases with quite a few shots, one being the Whisky Exchange, and it was the Golden Promise Barley, and I think that makes up a big part of that. And it just has this kind of warm, to me, kind of almost syrupy golden syrup vibe to it. And my friend Varesh, who I took up to Glasgow for the first time, he tried it, loved it, and just Connell said, I think there's only a couple of bottles left, and this was early doors. And so we marched to the shop, it was empty, and luckily he got the last one. So it flew off the shelf, but if you're not into it, you're not into it. Like it's personal preference, isn't it? We always say. Derek's doing a head-to-head with the 10-year-old Aaron Barley and the Ardnamurchan Heritage Barley. Oh, you'll need to let me know how that goes, mate. And Simon's saying, have a new phone and haven't changed user to Codger yet. The username, guys, if you go to the last live stream that I did and go to the chat, you can watch the old chat. At the start of the chat, I have the explanation of how you change it. It's a Google rollout. It's such a pain. I don't know why it's happening to me and it's not happening to other channels. But that's why you'll see a few of the guys in here who were on the last stream. Their username is back to normal. So you kind of have to change it up. Let's see. Where are we at? Toby's on drinking first taste of a Thompson Brothers Good Spirit 8-year-old blend I picked up cheaply last week. Toby, I tried that in the shop as well. What do you think? It's just good. It's the same kind of North Highland blend makeup, but slightly different. Love it. Danny Keenan, brilliant to have you in, Danny. Hope you're doing well. I'm saying, feel like I'm being awkward, but just don't connect. There's no awkwardness in it, I don't think, mate. I think if you just don't connect with them, you don't connect. There's some drams that I just don't. We'll come on to. There was one at the blind tasting, Roy Aquavitae's blind taste challenge, that off the bat, nah, it was a no for me. And as the time went on, I added water to it. It just got worse and worse to the point where I was like, I hate that. And other people absolutely love it. So that happens. I've got a bit of issues going on this side, guys. My contact lens is giving me a bit of jip as well. It's all going on. P.S. saying, a great article it is, lovely read. It is. If you've not read it, I'll try and dig out. Let me try and dig it out. I don't normally like being on the old internet during the stream, but I'm going to pull the link and drop it in the chat. If I can find it. Where have they put it? There it is there. And I'm going to drop it in here. And I think I might be able to pin. Can I pin? I think I can pin that, can't I? Pin that. There you go. So I've pinned that to the top of the chat for everybody. It's a great article. It's just a really, really, really nice article. It's always nice to read stuff like that, a bit positive, but anything. I'm just make my way down. He's just saying they had a ton behind the mystery malt, including their upcoming ridiculous Ben Nevis, which will be released very close. Oh God, I went, I had the Geary, and then I moved on, and I thought I'll get back to the chat. And as we know, if you go to the Glasgow Whisky Festival, if you make it back, you've done stellar work, because it's a bit of a trek from one end to the other. Then they're saying, evening David, unfortunately I had to work, so Miss Glasgow, always next year. Yes, there is always next year. Get it in the diary now. I've told the boys, get in, get it changed, get it locked in, so you know. I'm sitting down with my wife and I'm going through, I've already given her the heads up. I said, I've got my whiskey calendar for 2026 and I'm going to put them all in the diary and we're going to negotiate so that you can get some time doing fun stuff as well. I can't always be the one leaving you holding the baby. Peter saying it's also happening to other channels as well about the name. Peter saying, there you go. Go to your profile, click on your picture and then change the handle. Alan and Lowlander were at a White Peak tasting last week. I'm impressed with keeping an eye out for their heads. The whiskey's great. Lowlander, the whiskey's so good. I think that's why in the Oswars I voted for them. I just think the main thing for me is they're not English whiskey. There's no English whiskey. You know, like there's some distilleries based down here where that's a selling point. Like Bimber is London whiskey. That was their first kind of push, and then it got a bit better, and then they've kind of faded. Whereas I find like White Peak, it's just good. It's just good juice. Nobody really talks about it being English. A bit like Circumstance. No one's like, oh, it's from Bristol. It's this English whiskey. People like it. Derek saying Naren's really good, but the Ardnamurchan is fantastic. I've got behind me. You can see it there. Is it? Let me try and do this. There we go. Up there, there's 2 wee bubble wrap bottles that I was sent from Adelphi / Ardnamurchan, and it's the 10 and it's the barley, and I'm going to use them for me or no for me. Just pour them fresh and just see how they go on the neck pour. But I know that when I tried it at the whiskey show, it was good. When I saw other people's reactions, it's all been positive. So I think I know what way it's going to swing, but you never know. That's why I just do it live. Ruban was saying, hard for me to get to Glasgow as I come over for Paris and London. Yeah, no, I know. It will be difficult, and it's timing, and it's a lot of back and forward. London, unfortunate because it's home. Glasgow, unfortunate because it's home. But it's difficult. It is difficult. Says Codger is already taken. You might need to be Codger #1. Or OG Codger. Oh, yeah, some more of this Dram, see if it clears this nose. So as people know, on the last stream, some people were super generous. They gifted subscriptions, which has never happened before, so I don't quite know what that gave you. But brilliant, really appreciated. They gifted super chats, which, to be honest, I've had once before. Brilliant, and I did say at the time, what I was going to be doing with some of the Patreon money and my own was I was pulling it out for the food bank. And the super chat money, it takes ages. It goes through Google. They take a silly cut, whatever. But I took some of that, but proportioned it to that with the Patreon money, and we went to I went to Morrison's, and I filled up the basket the day of the show. It doesn't look like a lot, but as you know, things don't cost. Things aren't cheap anymore, and there's some toiletries and stuff hanging down there. But just a massive thank you to everybody that did that contributed. There was bags and bags that we donated. We got there super early. We were there an hour early. Silly on my part, because we ended up walking back to the shop and then getting an Uber and then coming over with it. But massive thank you, guys. I've got a ton of raffle tickets from it because it goes by item. But when it's drawn, I think if I win, not hopefully, if I win, if anything comes of it, then you guys will be first to know, and I think we'll do like a wee Patreon giveaway of the tickets with the super chat people, and I'll put just the names in, and we'll just do one of those random draw things, because I think you can win a pair of tickets, I think it is. But massive thank you thank you to those, and as always, I'll give a shout out to the patrons of Patreon who help make the channel everything it is and keeps it going. It was great to meet many of these on the weekend. It's so hectic, and it's quite embarrassing at times that I can't spend time with people. Not in a bad way, but it's just you know what it's like in Glasgow. Everything's going full steam ahead. Everybody's got drams in them. Everybody's having a lovely time. I just I felt bad, and there was people that I never even saw. Glen, who's been a huge supporter of the channel from day dot pretty much, and he comes over from North Carolina. Never saw him at all. Like, terrible. I felt terrible. But it's just the way Glasgow is. It's so cut here, there and everywhere. But I did see a lot of you, and I managed to have a couple of drams with some people, and it's such a wonderful, wonderful community of people that I can't over exaggerate to people. So I told the guys coming up, my friends Ben and Varesh from down here in London, they were super excited. We've done dram visits before. We've came up before and went to Artisan and Wishaw, and then into Glasgow and done stuff like that, but they'd never been to the Whisky Festival. And after last year being me popping my cherry last year, and I was like, guys, you have to go to this Glasgow Whisky Festival. It's amazing. There's loads of chat and you're trying to do stuff. And they were like, well, okay, we've been to the whiskey show in London and we've done this. And I was like, well, it's not the same at all. So they came up. So I'd asked Ben and Varesh if they were free tonight, but Ben's actually in Dublin and Varesh is nursing a bit of a hangover because he was on his final week of work. He's got a few days next week, but he's like finished it on Wednesday. So he had, I think, quite a big evening last night. And he also has a young child, younger than mine. So he's been on the waves today, so he never managed to do this. But I do have a really interesting little thing from Ben that I asked him to do for me, and he's done. And it's basically his point of view of last week, super quick.
Honest review of the Glasgow Whisky Festival. Expectations were high based on what you told me about it. They were all entirely exceeded. I drank some of the best whiskey I've ever drank. It was the most friendly environment, just chats with everyone, really, really conversational, just like, yeah, it was just a really lovely environment to be in. Really, really enjoyed it, surpassed all expectations, absolutely would 100% go again.
High praise indeed. He got to meet Ben got to meet a few years in the Bon Accord and at Roy's blind taste challenge on the Sunday. We were at the point where we were thinking about changing flights and stuff. Everybody was having a whale of a time, but I think that we've got people on that watch the stream and watch the channel who've never been to whiskey festivals and stuff before. And last year when I made my whiskey festival video, I struggle because it is quite blurry. You're so kind of like doing this, that and that at all the whiskey shows. And so I'd combined Glasgow, Edinburgh and London together. And I'd said about Glasgow, it just felt like it felt like the one that you talk the most at. And that's exactly what Ben experienced, where we had to drag him away from somebody who was just talking at him at that point, but complete stranger, because the guy just was, what about this and what about that, and so gregarious with like just passion of whiskey. It was brilliant. He had a wonderful time. He had an absolute wonderful time. So if you're on the fence about whiskey festivals, definitely do that. I'm just going to cut to the drams and mute myself a second while I sneeze. I think I'm allergic to whiskey now, guys. I think that's what's happened. I think I indulged too much last week that now I'm like my eyes are red. I don't know what's going on. It's all going on. It might not be a very long stream tonight, guys. I might have to go A&E for whatever's going on. Let's see, where are we at? Let's get back up to the chat. Tom said, "Oh, whoever gifted me a sub is a hero." I needed that was on my list of things to do yesterday. I was going to understand YouTube membership and do the bits I needed to do. I've got some more time off, but I've got time on the train on Wednesday as I'm coming back down from Glasgow after the football. The journey up, there's a few of us going up. I'm not going to even pretend that I'm going to do anything like that, but on the way back down I'm going to see how that goes, because I think it's going to be a lot quieter on the train. There we go. Royal, lovely meeting you at the Pot Still Best Glasgow Whisky Festival. Royal, great to meet you too. Thank you so much for saying hello. I'm watching, let's see. I'm way behind on the chat, guys. Get your pals to come to the Independent Spirits Festival next year if they enjoy Glasgow. Yes. Lowlander, I've added it to the calendar. The only thing is it's a week before my birthday. Timing wise, try to see. So I was looking at it going, could we maybe do a Scotland trip, me and the family, and then I'll come through. But then I know it's a night thing as well, so I can't really, I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to go home. So I'm trying to work that out, but we'll see. I would love to. It's in there, but I'm going to have to fight my battles. Let's see the chat. Everybody's in. There we go. I'm up to speed. Fantastic. So yes, so that's me. I've spoke about the food bank donations. Thank you so much, everybody. Patrons, as always, couldn't do without yous. So the festival itself, let's get into it. Shall we talk about let's talk about the weekend. Let's talk about the weekend in general. I came up on the Friday morning. We had a bit of a misunderstanding, just life basically got in the way. The three of us were all coming up on the same flight Friday morning. That became me coming up in the morning, Ben coming up at midday, getting in at 2 or 1:30, and then Baresh coming up at 5, getting in at 6. So we were kind of staggered throughout the day, so it meant the day was a bit more higgledy-piggledy than I wanted to, but got there, got off the bus from the airport, got up, walked up to the Pot Still, thought I'll have a pie and a pint. I won't have any whiskey until Ben gets here because it's still too early and it's a long day ahead. Sit down, managed to get a table, sit down, have a sip, cut my pie, have a mouthful of pie, and then I just hear, David. And it was your man, Tony Nelson, all the way from the US of A. Of course, he was in the Pot Still. It was pre-drinks. A few people were in for pre-drinks before Roy's Aquavitae's Under the Table, tasting at Sloan's, which I would have loved to have went to, but again, everybody's timing and stuff, and the tickets were gone. I wasn't going to ask if there was any like returns or spares or that. I was like, no, it's fine. A lot of whiskey ahead. Chatted to Tony, fantastic. Then if I remember, is that who? Let me see. Royal, was it yourself that if I click on that, I think, was it you that I met was it you that I met? He introduced me to someone from Norway. I'm trying to remember, sorry, I'm trying to remember the name, and if it was you, I apologise for not remembering your name. This nose is really blocked up. So we did that, then Ben came, we had a couple of drams in there, just to ease into the day. We left there, we went round to Good Spirits Company. We're going to buy some bottles, and then thought we'll leave it, we'll come back on Sunday, and we'll do it. And then we never went back. Oh God, we bought 3 Glencairns for the Airbnb we had, and we thought, right, what were we going to buy? What was I picking up again? I was picking up the Bocan. Bocan's done a price drop. It was Toby. I'm so sorry. No. Toby, I met you, but obviously I came in with a suitcase and joined you and Tony at the pot. Still, yes, I know. Like, too many Norwegians. He's invade, as your ancestors done, many times to Scotland in the past. But great. I'm glad we sorted that. The Bocan 2023 is reduced to like 75 quid, and it's on. I've not even talked about the dram selection tonight, but I normally do it. It's there. We've got that there. It's a belter, guys. It's an absolute banging dram. That was my dram of the year last year. 75 quid and anybody's money all day, every day. If you can find it now, get it. I've got a Deanston, Thompson Brothers, some waxy goodness. I've got from the last stream that I've not opened, the rare breed. And I've got Woven, and I've got a Springbank 12, purely because I've not even, like this week, I've not even attempted the Springbank chase this week. I will, maybe next week when it's all gone, unfortunately. There's been so much happening this week with the wee one and that, and I'm like, and work, I've got a job and stuff. And the recovery period, my powers of recovery are greatly diminished compared to years past. So I'm no bothered with that, but that's the selection. And the Woven one is because, if I reach down, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen this, but I got a new Woven bag off the lovely Hazel from Woven last week. Now, it looks like the last one I got for Pete, but the difference is, and it's a game changer, there's a zip. It's fantastic. So I've got the Woven there as a thank you very much, front of mind. I used that bag today to drop some stuff off, to drop some drams in the run, zines at the post office. They're away, so you'll know who you are when you get them. What else we got in? Highland Hamish is in. Greetings from freezing Inverness. Sorry I missed the funny shenanigans in Glasgow last weekend. Hamish, you were missed. Of course you were missed. Is it snowing up there? Because I seen Connell post something. Obviously he's a different part of the world, but the storms and stuff coming in. And Glasgow's to be freezing by Tuesday. I saw that Tuesday. -1 at night. Great. Fantastic. And Hamish, if you want to change your name, you click on your profile picture and then you can change your name back to Highland Hamish. Google have decided to fling everybody's name a bit of a mad one. The Bocan looks like Ribena in that light. Let me get it. Let me grab that. Show you. It's very sherry colour. That's the way I would describe it. It's not quite purple, but it's like almost like a kind of Oloroso-y colour. And fully matured in Oloroso sherry casks. There you go. But it's delicious, and I've been like taking my time with this because it's so good. But tonight I was like, nah, we're getting into it. So good. PSA still recovering. First dram is a struggle. Ugh. I was off on Monday. I got back Sunday night, made it home. Got up Monday, showered, and then was on daddy daycare all day. Took my little one away out in London, back. And then I remember the next day I was showering in the morning, getting ready for work. And was like, I never had a shower yesterday, that's disgusting. And I was like, actually I did. Couldn't remember. I was a blur of a day. But it was just brilliant. I was finishing up an experience in Campbelltown on Thursday. Didn't know when I booked it early in the year. Grand luck to be the unreleased day. Brilliant. What did you pick up? Did you fill your boots? You tried the Woven Kill route. I did. Finally. I've been one of those people that's resisted it. I've resisted it and resisted it. Even though everybody's telling me it was great, and I believed them that it was great. Just never got around to it. And then I had it in Glasgow, and it was brilliant. I was like, oh, for God's sake, done it again. It happened with Indri whiskey, where I was like a year and a bit too late to the party, and then that's been cancelled. And then I did this Woven. I'm like, it's so good. It's so good. If you've not got it, guys, honestly, try it. It'd be brilliant for cocktails and stuff as well, but it's delicious. They've done such a good job with it. Yeah, I saw it. Thank you so much for leaving the links for those on the Patreon chat. We've got there's like chat channels on Patreon, and the guys and myself, when we get a chance, we leave links. I did see them. I just genuinely didn't have the energy or time to chase it. There's a couple of bottles I really want, of course. I want the Fino. Everybody's gone mental for the Fino. The Cask strength, yep, it'll be great. The hazel one will be fantastic. They're all going to be good. But I was like, I don't want to be in chase mindset. I just want to, if you build it, they will come type vibe. And I did see the news about Woven opening a new place in Leith. Super exciting. The whiskey's really good. I'm going to come on to some of the drams I tried there, and I've got down here Woven, the pure malt, and the coffee that I tried. Both brilliant, and they're just going leaps and bounds. Let me see. Keep going down. Peated, yes, I saw this. So Peated was part of the crew that went down to Loch Lomond on Monday and got to spend the day with Michael Henry. After a very heavy Sunday, I can only imagine, after we left. But aye, well done. What an opportunity. And this is why, like, when you go, you're trying to find the time and space and that to do it. Guys, my nose is so blocked. I'm going to stick on the wee intro segment again of the festival, if you don't mind. And then I'll probably go to the drams if it comes back to me. I'm going to just blow my nose. Good day.
Very good day. It's been very good.
Brilliant, man. It's brilliant. And I'm back. How's that for timing? Wow. Apologies. Never had that happen before. I know Roy had to do this on Thursday night. I'm not copying him. I don't know if the wee ones thing has caught on or what, but in it for the love of the game. Couldn't miss tonight. Now let's see what's going on. Cujo's Hall. He left with oh God almighty. Left with the long local barley, the 12 cask strength, the 10 Fino and the cage bottles. Would have picked up a 15, but they save their stock to distribute each day, which is a good thing. Unbelievable techers. That. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Bowman's in with I have a dram of each of the Aquavitae Loch Lomond bottles. Fantastic. The Chardonnay yeast. It's a belter. Absolute belter. And he's saying, sorry, I was way into settings for a few minutes trying to get rid of it. Right, I'm going to see, let me see if I can find, I'm going to do the public service again that I did the other week. Let me figure out. we're going to pin. We've got live at the moment pinned the Dram Face article, but let me see, where is this? There we go. Is it there? Here we go. I've got the thing. If you're on mobile, you open the YouTube app, you tap on your profile picture, tap on your channel. Oh no, that's not that's from. And then you can change the @ handle. There's a pencil icon, and you should be able to change your handle to your normal name. Let me see. Open the YouTube app, tap profile picture, tap your channel or view channel. Channel page, you should see a pencil icon next to the channel name analytics. Tap the pencil icon. Let's see. Put it in here. And then evening, Gerben. I'm just doing some IT stuff to help everybody with our usernames, and it's the same thing from the other week. So Peated, I hope you don't mind. It's you as the example. There we go. Adrian, welcome in, mate. You have just missed my IT masterclass. That's what you've missed. We've just got some issues with YouTube are updating / Google everybody's names. So if you've not changed your name already, you've got the numbers on the end. So you should be able. Yep. Everybody's getting it now. Other channels are getting it. So if you want to, in the chat, you'll see that I have left. Just recently, what happens if I do? Can I? Who knows? But that should help you out. Help you fix it. Exactly. I go above and beyond for the viewers of this channel. No task too big or too small. Amy saying, fair play to Dunkeld Whisky Box, put out all the Springbank bottles at face value on a first come basis. I say this, not being able to get one, unfortunately. It's a great wee shop. I supported them. I bought from them during lockdown as much as I could. I've still never been, even though I've drove past like the road, the Aviemore road, past Dunkeld, and I've been like kind of swing in. But I've always had somebody else in the car, and I'm like, can I just? Oh, I'm just taking a wee detour. Oh, look at this. What's the chances? Found this amazing wee whiskey shop. No, don't mind. Don't know what will happen if I do mind. I'll delete it, and then I'll just put in Lowlander. I've used Lowlander Scotland. Let me see. Did I miss anyone else coming in? Royce completely missed Fragrant drops completely. Yeah, I was gutted as well. The stuff's really good and really rated by a lot of people in whiskey as well. It's one of those kind of when people get high in their own supply type vibes, like when people love that sort of thing. For me, it's just a mark of the quality that's there. So I'm trying to find the right bottle to buy, but that Glengarry's just calling me because everybody's going mental. I know everybody loved the Glenmorangie that they had at the show, which leads us nicely in just before everybody can boo Cujo here. Full transparency, my wife and I picked up doubles of all of those. Okay, that's fine. We're giving it the duplicates to friends before we take off from Glasgow. That's fine. Eli, when do you go, Eli? When are you way back home? But in terms of drams at the show, so as I said, I've got my wee list. I'm going to put my list here, so I'm not looking too far down. Drams, ones that I remember. Oh, I say remember. I was quite pointed with what I went for, in no particular order. Cadenheads, however you want to call it. I'm pretty sure it was an Enigma Speyside 16 with Tony, the manager of the Edinburgh shop. He poured, and I have the fear that his name's not Tony all of a sudden, and I know it is. I'm sure it is, but I don't. Does that make sense? Because sometimes you just get a wee paranoid, and it's because Tony Nelson's in my head, and I'm going, am I getting mixed up? But that Enigma Speyside was unbelievable, really meaty. I was like, he's like, right, guess what it is? And I'm looking at it, and I never even saw the proof, and I drank it, and I was like, it's meaty, it is what it is. I think like malt lac, or it's like, it won't be a Ben Rinnes. It's no Ben Rinnes, but it's got a punch to it. It's got a kind of worm tubby vibe, and it was bloody Macallan. It was brilliant, and it was like 62 point something %. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is stupid. And I'm just seeing, saying, it is Tony. I saw him tonight. Thank God. I left with the fear, and I was like, if I just called him Tony all this time, and his name's never been Tony, you know, when you get those kind of moments. But that's good. That's good to know. So that was unbelievable. Just about like really one of the sort of thing you want at a festival, where you just kind of get shocked a wee bit. So that was good. I made my way to the Daffmill table, because I'd be silly not to. And Francis was there. Francis was in great spirits, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just Francis is normally quite reserved, since I seen him, and he's just chatting to everybody, like brilliant, great form. Again, that's no me saying Francis not like that, but if anybody's met Francis in the past like that, he'll even admit he's not the most extroverted person. He likes to talk about what he's doing, and likes his life quiet. But he was in great form, even in the Bon Accord. Brilliant. Again, that makes it sound, no, I don't mean it that way. I was chatting away to him, and I said, the best Daffmill, but the best sherry cask I've ever had the best sherry cask example I've ever had was a Daffmill. And he kind of looked at me, and I said it was for Dram Busters. It was for is it JB TG or TB Watson in Dumfries released it. Single cask PX Daffmill, made on Christmas Day, because of course it was. And it's one of the finest examples of where you take a spirit that you know, which I would say is Daffmill. I know Daffmill quite well, and the spirit of it, and what it feels like, in a PX cask, and you just beautifully marry them together, and they complemented each other perfectly. And I bought 2 bottles. It's the biggest drinking outlay I've ever made. I would say at 300 quid to drink. And that bottle, I shared that bottle with so many people, because I was like, you have to try this. This is outstanding whiskey. And I was telling Francis this, and he's kind of nodding away in his way. And he's like, do you want something sherry then? And he just reaches under and he pulls out an Oloroso Daffmill, which was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Like really shocked me. P.S. Best sherry cask sounds like a contradiction, at least to me. Frank, you told me that your one of the favourite whiskies you had this weekend was a sherry cask. So don't you be giving me that. I was looking for the pigs flying by when you told me that. Apologies for that. I'm sure you can understand why. So that was me dodging Frank's from over there. Listed anyway. So we had that. Unbelievable Daffmill. I would say at Glasgow. Oh goodness, what a mess. I would say at Glasgow, the new peated bourbon release was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Drink. Just really rich. The boys I was with, they tried it for the first time. They tried a few of them. They loved it. They absolutely loved the Glasgow stuff. They loved the wine casks and everything. And I'd been telling them for a while, like, Glasgow is really good, like, really good now. So it was, like, fantastic, just good stuff. I've got the woven pure malt and coffee that I mentioned. Walking through the back bit, Gordon McPhail was quiet. There was nobody there at that point when I walked by. Everywhere, mad. North Star in the corner, but couldn't get near it. And Gordon McPhail, there's nobody there. And I was just like, oh, what's going on? Evening, James, good to see you. And so I walked up, and I just like, what would you recommend? And he gave me, I want to say the Glenmorangie first. And it was lovely. And I know a few of the guys in the chat here had that as well. It was lovely and it was good, but then I was like, nah, I just want something a little bit lighter, because I'd just been at the North Star stand where I'd had the, I think it's a Highland Express I've done with Highland Park and Ardnamurchan peated. Really, really like lovely, heavy peated. And I came back from that and I was like, no, I just need to, I need to take my palate quite light again. I was getting a lot of peated stuff at that point. So we decided, let's try the tomato, and that was delicious. After the Glenmorangie, I know other people did it the other way, the tomato and the Glenmorangie, but for me it was just so honeyed and fruity, and it was delicious. So great. I think it's 200 odd quid a bottle, which, again, talking about expensive drinkers, you can taste the money. You can taste where the value is in it, even at that. Then, as I mentioned, the Highland Express I've got here, North Star. That was lovely. I spoke to a couple of people, being controversial, as I'm known to be. Campbelltown. The Campbelltown bottling. Was it Campbelltown Express or Campbelltown Connection? Maybe it's Highland Connection. Just couldn't get around it. Can't get into it. Still got it. I keep giving it all the time, hoping, but to me it just drinks a wee bit hot. And then I went, I'll try the Highland one. Oh, see, it was good. Good value. I'll definitely buy it. I think it's really good value if you're on the fence. I don't know how you were about Campbelltown. You might have loved it. If you like Highland Park and you like Ardnamurchan peated, it's good. That's what it is. Brave New Spirits, the Speyside blend that I mentioned, which was two undisclosed Speyside distilleries, but it's really good. There's a wee Italian flag on it, which is telling you where the cask and makeup came from. Again, it might begin with an S and end in a Oli. So that's really good. Then also had the Little Brown Dog that came out on Wednesday, 12, Glengarry, under 50 quid. More of this, please. More of this, because it was fantastic. Of course, I'm saying that as a Glengarry fanboy, but it was really good. Really, really good. I'm going to pour a dram, actually. I've no Gary. I'm going to just go straight in. We're talking about sherry. This one's for you, Frank. Going in for the Bocan. There we go. Maybe it'll help my nose. I can still smell it on one side, at least. Oh, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. So yeah, if you're on the fence about it, I think it's like a kind of it's quite a kind of in working type label play to it. It's great. It's really good. So I do recommend it. We had that. Ardnamurchan 10, I've mentioned I had the Paul Noir single cask, which is exclusive to Paul Noir, the Champagne winery, but then also they've got a few bottles up at the distillery centre now, and it was lovely. And I let the boys try it, and they've never had Paul Noir, but I don't think any of the Ardnamurchan releases before, and they had an expectation of what a champagne cask might do to whiskey, and they tried it, and it's really light. And I said it is, but what it does, it complements the Ardnamurchan spirit really well. Alan, so probably no for you, but it's just a nice, it's one of those ones that you need to sit with, and it's not really the environment for that. Yeah, I mean, I just saw that. Have a lovely, lovely sleep and have a wonderful day tomorrow. I'm sure you'll have the best time. And if Brave New Spirits is there, let Marcus know. We were asking for him. He's been here, there and everywhere. I just keep seeing him on social media popped up. So there's probably a chance he'll be there as well. So yeah, the Paul Noir, fantastic. Then Rare Find stuff at the moment is just smashing it out the park, in my opinion. I think it's fantastic. There's such a big selection, but again, you're trying to pick and choose. So I just went for a Tomatin. That's why I nearly put, well, the Kubokin's obviously there, but I was looking at a couple other ones to maybe put, but it was great. And then Tomatin itself went there, had a great chat with them, as I always do. Lovely people at the distillery there who work at the shows as well. Had a Kubokin, because fancied a wee pour it again. And then also tried the latest creation release. The box is bright pink and yellow, and it has a flavour profile apparently of rhubarb and custard. And the irony of that is when Ben arrived to Glasgow, he was delayed a wee bit coming in from getting off the plane into the airport. And then he was delayed a wee bit longer, I don't know why. And he was buying his bus ticket into Glasgow. And the guy gave him a sweet. And he's texting me this while I'm sat in the pot still myself. And he's saying, oh, I've just got a sweet off the guy. It's lovely. And I was like, be careful of strangers. And he's like, it's a rhubarb and custard. And I said, I'll give you a rhubarb and custard. And he loves Kubokin. He loves those creation ones. One of the first whiskies he bought, getting into it, was the Japanese, I can't remember, Sochu cask that they did. And then we walk in Good Spirits and they've got the latest release there, and it's rhubarb and custard, which is wild. I've seen him in the one not getting a cold after this. This is from my daughter. This is what this is. This is nursery cold. I'm telling you, I've been fine all day. And I've been saying to my wife, I better not get ill because I'm going back to Glasgow for the football. And now I'm getting ill again. And we're going to go back to another shot at the Drams. World's worst stream tonight, guys. Apologies. Oh my goodness. It's definitely coming for the wee one, but that's much better. Now I've blown my nose. Oh. Oh my goodness. That Kubokin is unbelievable. And I got permission. I say permission. I got the nod that it's okay to make another t-shirt, which I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get it done. I might just make it patrons exclusive, and a couple of patrons are at the tier now where they get an exclusive t-shirt. So I think I might make it, and they'll get this. All I'm going to say is it's related to this dram. Yeah, I'm following the OG, the legend that is Aquavitae. Because if you watched his stream on Thursday night, he had to be holding cards and stuff because he had to do the exact same thing. So it's a difficult one. But we power on. We keep going. We move forward, guys. We're not going to let it stop us. So yeah, those were the top drams, I would say, for me. I barely, like, there's unbelievable drams I never even got a sniff of. Never got near. That's not all the drams I had. That doesn't mean the dram. I never had a bad dram. I can honestly say that. Everybody's drams I had, I enjoyed, which is great. I was being very kind of careful where I went. I found that some of them I got more into by the chat. I enjoyed the chat more. I think if you read that, the pinned article that I've put, the Dram Face one, of that kind of, he comes at it as more of like, he's not going to indulge too much. He is being, what's the word, more kind of fly on the wall, observing a wee bit. I would love to do that. I don't know how I could do it at Glasgow, to be honest, though, because the first session's great, and then I love what comes afterwards. The only way I could do it is if I was greedy and bought 2 tickets and did 1 full session just making content, like taking photos and videoing and talking to people on no whiskey, and then the second session enjoying it. The only problem with that is then I'm in the second session and speaking to everybody who goes to the second session, who works it and goes to it. It's a very different vibe, and I love the first session vibe that Ben mentioned. And I'll if you've joined the stream and you've not seen Ben's conversation, let me know in the chat, and I can replay that. He gives the best testimony that you could possibly ask for, in terms of just that atmosphere. And I think that was something that we found over the course of the weekend. But kind of jumping ahead of myself, we've kind of went through the drams. We've left, right? So we've left Hampden, thinking it's still light, feeling really fresh, feeling good. Looking back at the footage, well, there's quite a few drams consumed. We went to the Clockwork Beer Company, is it? That's owned by the Murphys, who are the proprietors / landlords of the Pot Still. Place was rammed. Place was absolutely rammed. The rugby was on. Loads of people watching rugby. No mass sport. So we get a couple of beers. Head out the back. Back's quiet. We managed to get a wee table. We have a bit of chat. I've recorded it. I've not watched it back yet. So I'm interested to see how we were faring at that point. Then it was a taxi back to the apartment, the flat. We were staying in Belgrove, which was really handy because the night before what we did was we'd went to Good Spirits, kind of cut myself off from that story. Then we went to SNWS, had some drams in there, really nice, some snacks, and then jumped home, train, a couple of stops to Belgrove, off. Then we went to the Gate in the East End. If you've never been to the Gate, it's opposite the Barrowlands. It's a fantastic whiskey pub, but they also had this pop-up on that night, so it was maybe the wrong night to go. This restaurant pop-up. Food looked amazing, but it was all couples. It was all people in doing couple stuff. And what made that really awkward was there was me and Ben, and we're sitting and we're trying to have like half and a half they do. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Roy. Unbelievable. Great to see you grind it out on the Sunday. Loved welcoming your pals too. Thank you so much for tuning in, right? And super chat. Unbelievable. Thank you. Absolute star. Going to come on to you in a minute anyway. We're getting there. Almost at the Sunday chat. But thank you so much. But we went to the Gate, and it's great. They do a half and a half menu. But the pop-up actually had a really interesting cocktail that was with Port Charlotte and sherry and all that. So we had that. Varesh by this point had joined us in Glasgow. Gave him the keys. He came back. We had a couple of drinks there, and then we went into town. Had a lovely Scottish cuisine dinner in Merchant City of a place of the name I keep forgetting, but it's next door to Blackfriars Bar. From there we went for another drink round the corner at McCool's, and then walked up to the Bon. We were going to pop in the Pot Still, but we assumed it would be really busy. Got to the Bon, bumped into a few of yous, bumped into some whiskey folk, bumped into Marcos and his lovely lady, and just loads of great people, a couple of beers, and then we went home. Fast forward back to after the festival, get back to the apartment, get ready, and we went to Mr. Singh's, a Glasgow institution of an Indian restaurant, and taking the rest there. Obviously, he's Indian, he's Hindu, he knows his food, and he was so taken aback by a couple of the dishes. He was like, right, come here, to the waiter. You need to go in and tell that chef that tastes exactly like my grandmother's dishes. The base of this is unbelievable. And that was the thing he said. He said the base tastes like this is the base of that. He says a lot of the restaurants use the same base. It's just kind of, and they build out of that, and I said they can get so much out. And he says this food was unbelievable. So I was really happy, enjoyed it. We got the haggis pakora, which Mr. Singh's is famous for. We had lots of unbelievable stuff. So it was great. It was really good. From there we went round the corner. We didn't go direct to the Bon. We went into the pub round the corner from the Bon, whose name escapes me. I think it used to be called the Avalon. And it's now called something else. But lovely wee pub. Had a wee half pint of Guinness in there. And then straight into the madness that was the Bon Accord on Saturday night. And saw loads of these in there. Had the best time. Just chatting away. Everybody saw the girls from the Grail. So just like everybody. And by that point, I don't want to say loose lips sink ships, but everybody was just, the chat was unbelievable. And I've got footage and stuff. I think at one point I was wearing a GoPro in my head and stuff, walking through the pub. It's madness, but it was great fun. And it's the core of the Glasgow Whisky Festival. I think just that atmosphere. The boys went up the road early. I got chatting to people that weirdly come from Switzerland and work in the same industry as me and actually work with me. But not directly, but do work with me. I work with a company. So that was really funny. Small world, as it always is. And then I was up the road, got in. We're on to Sunday now. And Roy's in the chat now. And we were buzzing, but we were also... We felt fresher in the morning. Being in Deanston, we went up to the world famous Coyer's Cafe. We had a breakfast there, and then we walked across. I find it funny because I used to live in Duke Street as a student, and I'm from the East End myself, and I find it so funny how Duke Street, if you don't know Glasgow, Duke Street never used to be this like night. I don't want to use the word nice. It was always fine, but it wasn't a hipster place. And we went to the Pally, the Pally of Deanston, it's called, this pub. I used to live directly across the road from it, right facing it, and I would never venture in that pub. And now we went in, we had a lovely time, we had a couple of curers there, sat in the corner, the barmaid was unbelievable with us. She just let us fester in the corner because we knew it was coming. And that was, we had to get ourselves motivated and G'd back up and fresh and alive to go over to the Haberdashery on Suckhill Street, round the corner from the Bon, where Roy Aquavitae was hosting his blind challenge live. So up we get an Uber, get in, and I've seen Roy saying that in the chat, gentrification in Duke Street 8. Oh, honestly, Roy, can't believe it. Could not believe it. The boys were like, this is lovely up here. Never been in this pub in my life. Makes me feel old. Granted, it was 20 years ago I lived there, but what a change. So we jump up, get in. Who's on the door? But Peated himself, Big Frank. One in, one out. In we get. Welcome Dram. Still don't know what that Dram was, which Roy's here now. Maybe you can tell us. Try to play. Was it a Loch Lomond? Who knows? But it was a nice ease in. And then busy day. Loads of people, chatting away to loads of people. In we go, and the best thing, what I loved was, Ben turns to me and he's like, oh, right, so what's the tactics for the tasting? I said, oh, Ben, we're not sitting together. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm pretty sure it's like, you'd just be put on a table. And that was the case. You put your hand in, you pulled out, and it was the name of the team captain's table. So away you go. So I was on the uncle's table, and the tasting itself, didn't know what to expect. I'm kind of thinking, God, I'm absolutely going to make a show of myself. Ranked them first to last, and it was McLean's nose. Wow, really? That's not the McLean's nose I remember. Is that what Conno did say, didn't he? There's older stuff in those batches now. That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was really good. It was quite fruity. Fruitier than I expected. That's why I thought maybe it was a Loch Lomond. Brilliant. I'm trying to, like, you can see my brain whirling there. And then Ian saying the same, yep. Frank saying was an applicable spot for me. Welcome everyone in. Me reckon. Picked up by so we go through. I'm on the uncle's table. We're all split up. Brilliant. Drams come along. As I mentioned, the beauty of it is, what I love about whiskey is how subjective everybody's palate is and how it's personable and everybody's different. But right off the bat, we're all kind of like sniffing, oh, you're just to pick your favourites. Roy's going around telling everybody, oh, just pick your favourites. But we're all analysing. It's very quiet at the table, very quiet in the room, jotting down stuff. And then I get to number, I think it was number 4, was blue. Aye, and I was like, this just smells like plasticine to me. And that was that Napier, the Clydeside Napier, which I was really excited to try, but it was just no, it's just so it just reminded me of not even Play-Doh, but just plasticine that you tear. And so rank it, that was last for me, and this was first, and down it out through them we go. And then you turn over, and you'll see the video when I've got wee bits and pieces, I can kind of piece it together to explain, but you turn it over, there's stuff there explaining what each of these drams might be, like a profile of each dram, and then you place them. That's how you do it. And then the second part is Roy reveals what the drams are, and then you have to match the drams to what you think they are in the glass, which is easier said than done. But our table worked really well together, and we were all finding something, and it was brilliant. It was just great. It was really good fun. And it was so lovely to be in a community of, which in general the whole weekend is this, of just, I think there's a lot going on in the world at the moment, but it's such a friendly, welcoming community. It doesn't matter your age, your race, your gender, anything like that. It's all about the drams, and it's about the chat and the drams, which is why we're into it, and I think that's for everybody. So we did that. Didn't win, unfortunately. The team came second, very close second. But I'm not. If you go on Aquavitae.com to the galleries and you look through the pictures, you can see the picture of me dealing with that second place. I'm not. We were so close. We were so close. But it was great fun. Worst thing for us was we were on a timer because our flight back was that night, which a lot of people had said was, well, that's probably going to be a mistake. It was because we didn't want to go, because why would we? And I was already pulling up the flights, and we were like, oh, we could maybe get a flight in the morning, 6 a.m. Oh, everybody will be asleep by the time we get home anyway, maybe we stay. Thankfully, we talked ourselves out it. Bottle share came. Bottle share was unbelievable. Big shout out to Connell from Ardnamurk in Adelphi. Purely selfish reasons for me, because he brought in 1984 Malt like 12 and this giant, must have been about 1.5 litre bottle, but that much in it, wasn't full. But a birthday, but for me that's a birthday. 1984 Mortlack as well. You never get 1984s anything, because that was the year that whiskey just went, no, we're too busy. But I just say, yeah, you boys, uncles came easy second, amazing. I know, Roy, we were so close, but no enough. Next year, there's always next year. Alison, remember chopping on plasticine as a kid, and it's that, you know, that terry plasticine, like where it was gridded, it was like grooves. It's exactly like that, the taste. Just that. But yeah, the bottle share, so I had that. Then I had I want to say Flora and Fauna Mortlack was there. I'd brought 3 bottles myself that were bottles that I've just basically been wanting to open. And I'd opened 2 of them in the apartment, in the flat, before we came, to give a bit of life, and we'd poured some. One of them was a Springbank 18, and I'd brought it for Frank, specifically. I'd said on the stream that I would. It was 100% bourbon from last year, Springbank 18. We opened it in the flat, we poured it, and I've had it before. I had it at Whiskey Fringe, and I've had it since. Then I had it last week, and I just don't think I'm into it. It just never really did what I wanted it to do for me. I know other people love it, so I was like, right, bring that. I'd already decided to bring it, but we opened it in the flat, let some air in it, and then brought that to the bottle share. I brought a Dornoch single cask with the disco raccoon on it, for lack of a better word. Again, a bottle I've been dying to open. I need an excuse. It's normally sat up in that shelf, and the opened that in the house, let that breathe a bit, and that was delicious. And I thought, brilliant, that'll be well loved. And then the third one was one that was really dear to my heart, which was Elijah Craig single barrel from Glasgow, Kentucky. And I didn't open it until we got there, and then I tried it. So in the wee showreel thing I did at the start here, you'll see that Elijah Craig, and I left it behind. I just left all the bottles. That was delicious. It was 60% odd. The staff at Haberdashery, by the way, right, how good were they? They'd never had whiskey. They said, I don't like whiskey. I've never tried it. I was like, give me a glass. And I gave her the bourbon. She said, that drink's really easy. And I was like, it's over 60%. Look on her face. And I was like, right, I'm away to the airport. But we tried those. The guys were chatting with everybody. Wonderful environment in terms of just everybody's a pal. And it was brilliant. It was so good. And it just left me with such a warm and fuzzy feeling getting in the car of just like, wow, so lucky that we're in this community of people who just kind of look out for each other, have a lovely time. I think the entire weekend, I don't think there was one bit of aggravation, anybody saying crap, anybody shouty or fighty. Maybe just lucky we missed it. But it was brilliant. And I think it's kind of alluded to in the Dram Face article. So I don't know if maybe there was something that other people saw, but I think everybody kind of welcomes you in with open arms. And I'm going to play again because I know a few of you have joined late. I'm just going to, while I pour myself another dram, I'm going to play Ben's little snippet from Dublin today because he's over there. So if you've not seen this already, have a wee watch.
Honest review of the Glasgow Whisky Festival. Expectations were high based on what you told me about it. They were all entirely exceeded. I drank some of the best whiskey I've ever drank. It was the most friendly environment, just chats with everyone, really conversational, just like, yeah, it was just a really lovely environment to be in. Really enjoyed it, surpassed all expectations, absolutely would 100% go again.
Like, that sums it up. Varesh hasn't done one today because I only asked him to do that today, and Varesh is still recovering from leaving drinks yesterday. I have poured myself, if you would like to know, following that lovely Bocan. We're now on this lovely waxy number, which is a Deanston, 54.1% from the Thompson brothers. It is delicious, and I can smell it, thankfully. Right, so that was kind of the recap of my weekend. I saw loads of these. Made loads of new pals, chatted to a lot of whiskey people, in terms of working in whiskey. Fascinating weekend. It was just brilliant. I love coming home for it, and I think it just shows the best of Glasgow. And I'm seeing Aquavitae energised by the people, buddy. And you said, Roy, you said something to me. Like, I was just like, it's brilliant, and he says it's because you're home. You look so much more relaxed, and even that's what Ben and the rest said. There's a wee bit more of a looseness there, and it's true because when you're in the home turf, you know the signs, you know where to be, you know what to do, you know how to talk, which is funny. And second from 15 teams. Was that yours? Was it like, right? Thank you so much. It was delicious. And yes, I was the Springbank 18 donor. And I hope I assume they all got hopefully tanned. I wanted it. It's one of those things. These bottles sitting here, and if I can't get them out to people, then what's the point in having them? Good. 100% grape pollution. 0% grape pollution for you, Peated. Lowlander, as I said, This man said to me that he enjoyed a sherry cask, and then I figured out, watching and talking to people, what that was. But Glasgow does strange things to people. And B Maltman saying Adelphi brought a fantastic 1988 Mortlach to the London show, ex-bourbon cask, very unusual, one of my drams of the show. Was that this year? I got there, right? I went to have that dram. I was so excited for it. And my mate, he got the last pour. So I had to settle with an old Glenlivet. I can't remember the exact age of it. It was an old Glenlivet. It was lovely, but I was so excited for that. So yeah, made up for it by the ones I had on Sunday. James saying, I know of an ECBP A123 on sale at Cigar. Yeah, I've seen that. The Elijah, because I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Elijah Craig single barrel person. And the only reason I picked it up was because it was from Glasgow, Kentucky, the Fire Pit Spirits shop, and that's why I bought it. It was going to be a Russell's Reserve pick, and it was that, and I went for the Elijah Craig, and it was so good. Like, there's a wee tinge of regret that I left it behind. That's how you know how good it was. But by that point, I think the reason it was cutting through everything else, it was the last one I had, because I think the high proof point, and it was so sweet compared to everything else we were drinking. Lowlander, yes, it was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to making the video, because it's going to be a bit of I'm going to go for a different vibe. I was talking as the girls from the Grail. If you've ever met them or you watch their videos, you get the vibe off them anyway. We were chatting away, and I was like, what's going on with you girls? What's happening? I say girls, it's so insulting. What's going on with you women? Or ladies, or whatever we say. What you's doing and what they're working in, and we're chatting away, because we've not seen each other in person since last year, but then they did the Christmas whiskey roundtable with me when we did the gifting one, of course, and I've not spoke to them since, really. Catching up and all that, and then we were chatting about making videos, and I was like, I talked about the Halloween intro bit I did, and how it was quite weird, and I just quite like make some weird, elaborate stuff, and like, be weird, get weirder. So I don't know if Glasgow will be that weird video, but we're going to start to see some just odd bits and pieces in there. Right, saying that Ben's a nice fella, well done with your hangers on. No, I do appreciate it. When Roy announced that he was doing it and the tickets were available, I pinged him a message and did ask him, I've got 2 mates coming up with me from London, do you mind if they join? They're not barflies, but they should be good value. They both love their whiskey. There's 4 of us in a wee whiskey group, a wee WhatsApp whiskey group. And my other mate Pete was gutted he couldn't come, and he was missed. He would have been great value as well. We'd have added another dimension because he's Welsh, so we had English and Welsh and Scots. But they loved it. They absolutely loved it. It's just the whole weekend was fantastic. Adrian's moved on to the Fragrant Drops blended malt from Campbelltown. Really stunning dram. Again, they're not putting out any bad ones, are they? At all. It's all like killer, no filler. I really need to pick a bottle and buy one. Peated saying, don't know if tickets still available. If so, see you in Leaf. And then Lowlander's backed it up saying, yes, tickets are still available. Might maybe preemptively pick one up and see. Because Pete, who I just spoke about there, my mate, he's only a few days older than me, so our birthdays are very close, so we might find a wee way to swing. We never did anything together for our joint 40th, so maybe we'll do it. Let's see what else we got. Anyone tried the Little Brown Dog Longmore? No, I never. I heard good things about the Longmore. I heard good things about the well, I said the Glengarry was fantastic, but Little Brown Dog, another one. And Roy touched on this in his VPub. If you've not watched it, go and watch it from Thursday night. The rise of the indies at the festival. A lot of this is like really good stuff. Really good stuff. You women much better. I know. I just tie myself in knots. Love the Grail ladies. They're so good. They're so good. I wish them. I get it with the videos. It's try to get them in the same place and do the stuff and whatever, and they've got their own stuff going on. But their videos were great. They helped me in my whole kind of getting into whiskey journey, between them and Ralphie and Roy and Whiskey Tribe, and just finding your way, no nonsense. Vin and Jeff, and they had their own style, which I really enjoyed. Let me see what we're up to. Are we up to the chat? Yes, they are. Now, I'm going to mention Living Souls at the festival, particularly. Living Souls have been putting out banger after banger. The 99+1 ex Thompson Brothers blend, brilliant. It is BSW Thompson Brothers blend meets the 99+1 / Lecheg tiny bit of grain blend together. Great. That was their under the table dram at the festival, and they only had 2 drams. So I was a wee bit surprised because everybody was like, "Has anybody tried the Bowmore they've put out? Has anybody tried the Bowmore?" And I was like, "Oh, we'll get to try it at the festival." Really excited. Ben in particular that I was with was like, "I'm going to buy it. It'll be really good." They never had it, and the 2 they had, I can't even remember what it was. It was quite underwhelming. Kind of looking at it like, this is all you've brought. And it's only session 1. You've not ran out or anything. Nothing's went away. And I feel like it's a wee bit of a missed opportunity for them, in the nicest possible sense. But I was just a wee bit like, oh, because the stuff they're putting out is, as you say, Dean, brilliant. Oh, Pete, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. And actually, yes, of course, you've missed my shout out already. I've already shouted it out. Look, anybody new to the stream tonight? Best thing. Pete gave me one of these bags a couple of years ago, and Hazel at the Glasgow show gave me this, but it's upgraded because it's got a zip. Honestly, love it. And Pete, you know I love your stuff, so of course on the Dram Wheel of Steel tonight we've got that. So I'm probably going to have to go there next for the next Dram. At the moment, it's IB Thompson Brothers Deanston that's in there. It's a battle with the Luggy that my daughter's given me. So there's been occasional mutes, so you'll have to just kind of, I'm going to have to do it again in a second. So we're going to look at the drams again. Learned that from the best. Learned that from Roy on Thursday night. Just cut away, mute it. Clear your senses. Brilliant. But brilliant. Guys, bit of admin as usual. If you haven't already, please hit that like. Speaking of that, that was taught to me by Alan, the whiskey friend. Saw him on Saturday morning outside the festival, Saturday evening. I know that he was doing the sub crawl on Sunday, the Glasgow sub crawl. I really was hoping they'd come in here tonight and tell me all about it, because God knows how they've managed. Love to know. Saw Gav's Drams, spoke to him, always a pleasure. Couldn't meet a nicer guy. There was a wee bit of a kind of, in the Bon on Saturday night, a wee bit of a kind of YouTubey chat amongst a few people, because we all do this, and that was always appreciated. And I would love an opportunity for more of that. That's a wholly personal thing, but just the opportunity to talk to other people making videos on YouTube in the whiskey space, because it's a slog. We've had a few casualties this year in terms of people just going, need to take a break, need to get away from it, because it can be a bit of a slog coming up with stuff. And that I'm a wee bit different, because I don't really do the reviews, and I do kind of out and about, and so I make it more fun for myself without doing it. When I did March Dram Madness, and if anybody had spoken to me at the weekend, I probably told them, just shouted at them. I found that really difficult. Personally, of just the same format, sitting, drinking, giving you. But even though it was a head-to-head, it was the repetitive nature of it, of just doing the same thing. That's why the for me or no for me's, I do them in wee batches. But I enjoy it because I'm trying something. I normally try and pick something that's either new to me or refreshing my palate with and going back to and going, do I like that? Oh, right, aye. And I'd record them in wee short takes. But it's just interesting because I think it's there's been a few this year that have kind of dropped off the radar a bit, like some podcasts have and some other bits and pieces, and I don't know if they've run out of things to say, but I don't think you can run out of things to say. But it was nice just talking to people and understanding the kind of why are we still doing it. For me, I do it because I just like, I really enjoy the whiskey. I enjoy making stuff. I enjoy the connection with you guys, especially on the live stream. When I talk to people in my work about it, they always ask, and they're just like, why are you doing that? How do you find the time? And I'm like, you make the time. Don't do it else. So it's all good. That was a wee bit of a tangent there, but it's more just to understand how good that Saturday night is when you're kind of chatting to just loads of different people, and mental. Such a good vibe. So let's see who else we got in. Did everybody see the announcement from Bruichladdich the day? I think I don't know whether it's coming out next week, 18th. Did they say? Or the 20th, 20 something. Very fancy video. Saying, are you woven, Pete? If so, congrats on the new studio. Yes, it is. Thanks. The little brown dog offer up the Invergordon 7-year-old mixed mash bill. Scotland's answer for... I don't know, mate. I don't know. I know Diageo have opened the floodgates and Bourbon now available to IBs. Does feel like some IBs scrambled out what they have bought a bit quick looking at the age of them. I know there's going to be a lot of Bowmores. I think we spoke about that in here, and a few other people have spoke about it, where a lot of Bowmores on the market. I think it's good. It's a decompression of the market. It's quite nice. Where you can see the pricing coming down, which I'm sure Pete and that, for them it might be a bit more difficult, because if you're buying stocks and you're trying to work in this dynamic market, to make money will be difficult. But as a buyer, it can only be a good thing. Eh? Roy saying he bought the Living Souls Kildatin on Monday after tasting it on Sunday blind. It was lovely, wasn't it? Even got a selfie with Roddy doing so. Happy days. Can I just say, walking into the Good Spirits Company on Friday, the first thing that Ben said, he nudged me in the shoulder and pointed behind the counter and went, "The fuck?" And it was Roddy, and he was wearing the Campbelltown bootleg, the Springbank t-shirt, because he knows that I'd made that. And I said, it wasn't to Roddy, it was one of the other guys in there, and he went and got Roddy, and I said, "Roddy, it's my t-shirt, I made that." I never even got a picture. I should have got a selfie with him. I just never even thought. It's not in my headspace to do it, but it was one of the moments of the weekend that I'd completely forgot about until I'd read that, Roy. So thank you for reminding me. Well, I've seen a few indie bottles have said that they've bought some casks of Bowmore and planning on releasing some bottles next year. It's great to see more affordable IB. But has anybody had the 7-year-old's Living Soul yet? I really hope that someone has, so they can tell me. Do you ever get odd looks from normal folk when you tell them that you chat to a bunch of middle-aged men on a Saturday night? No, Lowlander. I get odd looks when I tell them I sit in a cabin at the bottom of my garden talking to myself on a Saturday night while drinking whiskey. I know you guys on the other end, but the reality is, if you look through a window at this, I'm just sat here talking to myself. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's brilliant. Such good fun. And I think anybody watching the streams who might tune in or go, I'm going to see what's David doing, we'll see that and see the engagement that we have and the connection we'll have. It's fantastic. It's such a great community. And it's the reason I do it. It's the reason I keep coming back. And I know at one point I was doing it weekly. I need to check the calendar, because I'm thinking maybe I can get away with doing maybe I need to check, but I'll definitely update Patreon and Instagram and stuff and let people know. But I think I might be able to do next week and the week after. And I was prepping stuff for tonight, again, this is the beauty of the stream. It gives me ideas for videos, and I think I've got a new video idea that I'm going to put out before Christmas. That I'm really interested in. It's in my professional wheelhouse, but also in the whiskey wheelhouse. I keep saying because I'm trying to stop myself from saying what it is, but nah, they gave me strange looks anyway. Pouring myself a Duff Stuff Loch Lomond, the 14-year-old. Brilliant. What else is going on? Roddy was wearing the Springbank shirt at the Fife Whisky Festival this year too, and he's wearing it exactly how it was meant to be worn, with pride, but also wearing it like a band T-shirt. And it started when I went in the funk. What is funk it up in your glass? Is that what it says? I can't remember. It's fading away, kind of pulling away and stuff. The one thing I don't like about those T-shirts was the material. So they're on the site now, like on the Shopify site. They're more expensive now because I went super heavy on the material, because I just think it might get you like longevity. All for full disclosure, those T-shirts make me practically hee-haw. The whole supply chain's no cheap, and the way it's done is it's on a purchase by purchase, and it goes to a place in the Midlands in England, and they make it on a purchase by purchase, and then they ship it out for me, just to keep, because I can't afford to buy loads of stock or anything like that. But the quality wasn't quite there. So the new ones, the Ben Rinnes and the Glengarry ones, are a better stock. They're not as heavy as the I'm looking down because I'm trying to remember everything, but they're not as heavy as the Springbank one. But that was just a conscious decision. But they should last a lot longer. I nearly wore the Glengarry t-shirt tonight, but I wore it to the festival, and I was like, I can't keep milking it. And the Ben Rinnes one, I think it's in the washing. I need to find it. Pete's saying it means I can buy for cheaper and make better, more affordable products just now, which is good. Just need to get people to buy it next. Mate, you guys are doing a stellar job of getting newbies in, by the way. That we were talking about it earlier. The coffee one is sensational, and I'd really held off buying it or trying it. I know people were saying it, but I was like, oh, I'll get to it, and then I had it in Glasgow, and I was sick to my stomach that I'd waited. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. I still find it, I say this every time, but the bottle change, the size. Like, I've got the 500 here, right? So you hold it like that. You can see it like there. But then you get the 700ml, and I feel like it's Alice in Wonderland stuff. It just feels super sized. But a lot of people will be coming to it and thinking that's normal woven size. Middle age might be generous, I know. God. And Alan's saying the exact same. Just talking about your cold brew release earlier, I was guilty of thinking it might be a bit of a gimmick, and then I tried it and was very impressed. It works very well. I'm not saying, I wouldn't say I thought it was a gimmick, but I was like, aye, alright, I'll try. I'm not in any great rush. The problem is there's always something else to try, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's really good, Pete. It's really good. And if you've not watched it, when I got to guest host the V-Pub during the summer, well, Roy Aquavitae was out, and Pete came on. We had Pete, we had new independent, independent spirits, I don't know, the ISWC or the IWSC spirits competition thing, Spirit Communicator of the Year, Billy Abbott on, and we had the man himself, Mac Kampai Planet, who normally pops up around about this time, so he must be busy in Japan doing something. And we went through it all, but we mentioned at the Whiskey Fringe last year for the halftime orange, Pete concocted a dram that was just pure orange. And if you watch that stream back, which I'm going to have to do myself, he tells you the percentage makeup of what he actually put together. He went away, dug it out, and came back on the stream and was like, this is what I put together. Mad stuff. Alchemy. We all think we can make wee blends, and I've tried with an infinity bottle and stuff like that, and it's terrible. and Lowlanders St. Woven are doing a great job getting younger people into whiskey. Whenever I've gone to one of their events, I think I'm one of the oldest people in attendance. Lol. And that's it. Like in London, they do quite a lot of stuff down here, and it's always in North London. Hey, do something south, please. I'm begging you. But the photos and stuff and the people that are in attendance are exactly the people we need to be getting into whiskey and showing them it. And if it's in a cocktail or whatever, but make it something that's not the preserve of their grandfathers. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's make them feel good. Ugh. Roy, stop it. Honestly, that drinks whiskey. Just notice you're linking it to Dramface article. You're a good one, David. Doing the team will be awfully chuffed. Me too. Mate, honestly, no, it's a pleasure. Everything you guys do. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you and the team, to be honest. I wish I could write something. I wish I could do what you guys do in the Dramface space. I wish the just the commitment to it. And just, like, I love that he's managed to bring people to Glasgow. Pete's in Edinburgh. That's easy. Do you know what I mean? Everybody goes to Edinburgh. You go on TikTok and the amount of Americans going, oh, I'm in Edinburgh. Edinburgh. And then you get the odd American that's made the leap and went to Glasgow. And they're like, oh, Glasgow's so much better. Glasgow's Charlie XCX to Edinburgh's Taylor Swift and all this kind of stuff. And I love that what you've done with that space and made Glasgow a city that people aren't afraid to go to. Because God, a lot of them are. But no, cheers. I appreciate it. Wrong glass. And I think I'm out a glass nearly. Thank you so much. But I pinned that article purely because that is exactly what the festival is. And I hope when you saw Ben's testimonial and stuff as well, guys, that's what it is. And for anybody that's not been, and I know a few people in here have said before, they've no done whiskey festivals and they've been a wee bit, oh, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I like keep myself to myself and whatever. Maybe Glasgow's not the one for you because you can't keep yourself to yourself because people just talk at you all the time. Everybody's so friendly, everybody's so involved. Pete Hazel was fantastic for you guys. What an ambassador. Well, I know she's not an ambassador. I know she's normally doing a lot of the on-trade stuff, but brilliant. So good. Right, so I'm getting, it's number 7 I'm in, which I think is a Chardonnay-ish one. Could be wrong. Guys, if you're after a woven, there's a great one that Royal Mail Whiskies have on sale at the moment. I think it's a Loom, maybe. Even with my bunged upness. It's lovely. Lovely kind of freshness to it. A little bit floral, a little bit green. When I use green, it just... Aye. I was going to say like the stem of a rose. I just like, as if I know what that tastes like. Maybe from my younger days when I used to hold them in my teeth. Right, back to my actual agenda that I wrote so that I didn't get pulled off by you guys. Oh God, know that either. So we were talking about the challenge. We were talking about the Bon Accord. We were talking about the pot still. Now there's a bit of chat around these establishments. So the Bon, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. That's the last time you'll be in the Bon Accord for the Glasgow Whisky Festival, as it stands now, which is a great shame. But time's moving on. It's number 7. I've just seen Pete saying, oh, I thought it was 2. Number 7 was Loch Lomond Malt on the Comstil in Glasgow. I wish I could go, aye, that's exactly what I'm getting, Pete, but... There's a love... It's no waxy, but it coats the palate beautifully. MB, thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you next time. And then Bowman's just having a pour of the Mezcal cask. only Ardnamurk in it. Well, that and the rum. No in my wheelhouse. But if you love it, you love it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. That's the beauty of whiskey. Loom and Shindig are great releases too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Loom. I'm sure it's Loom because it's the one with the white, with the coloured kind of square on it. Pete, by the way, Lowlander sings the praises of Woven all the time. All the time. So you've got a huge fan there, and he's buzzing for you opening up the new place. So yeah, the Bon is moving. The Bon is moving opposite the pot still. Which, when I was talking to Tony, I'm tying myself in knots here. Tony's not old. I was talking to the old man himself, Tony Nelson, when he was in there, and he says, I'm delighted because I hate the walk. And when I spoke to a few other people, they said, yep, don't like the walk. And I'm like, I love the walk from the pot still to the Bon and the Bon back. It was Alan, the whiskey friend, that was saying to me, I don't like the walk. Because it gives you a wee bit of breathing space from whiskey to whiskey. You can pop into a couple of the pubs. The State Bar on Holland Street, great one. So that is happening. But then I heard on the Saturday night, when I was in the Bon, that the pot might be closing. Which I'm pretty sure. I think the conversation's been had. I think it's happening. So I'm saying it here. I'm saying it late in the stream. I'm saying it at 20 to 12 because if you're still watching now, you're a whiskey person. If you've heard that, is it true? I was going to reach out to a couple of people, but they're all busy this weekend with work. And I don't want to be that, is this happening? But I'm pretty sure that's what I heard because they don't. The irony is, when we went to the Clockwork after the festival, I'd said to Varesh and Ben, this is owned by the same people that run the pot still, but they've bought out here. And they're like, why is that way out here? And I said, well, I actually worked some shifts in the Clockwork years ago. They used to be owned by the same people that owned the Lansdowne, which is no more now. That's now a Mother India. But Lansdowne was a great bar, and then I got sent over for a couple of shifts to cover to the Clockwork, and it's over at Hampden, right? So if you're going there, so I'm just seeing people in the chats. Yeah, Pete heard saying that, and he's saying the same. Don't know if it's true. So it's a bit of an odd one. But I know that when they bought the Clockwork, so the Murphys bought the Clockwork, and there was a big piece about it in the paper, and the thing that stood out to me in the newspapers and online was they called out that they own the Clockwork. They bought the Clockwork. They bought the build, they own the lease, they own everything. There's the pot, they have the tenancy. They don't own the building, they don't own the lease. Same as what's happened with the Bon, where they don't own the Bon. They are the lease. They rent it, in effect, the leasehold. And the owners have came in and said, this much and whatever. So they're moving and they've bought the new premises opposite the Bon outright. And so it was weird that happening and me saying that to the guys, this is on. And then Frank Murphy was behind the bar in the Clockwork that day. It was mobbed, absolutely mobbed for the rugby. And then going to the Bon that night and then hearing that same scenario was playing out over there apparently, kind of threw me. So I don't know if it's true or not. There was a few people telling me, a few people I trust. But it was a bit an odd one. So I've got it on my notes here. It just says Bon farewell and then pot farewell ... question mark, exclamation mark. So very strange. It'd be a shame if that happens. Graham Drams, good to see you in. First I've seen you in the chat for this, I know, please. It's just I really hope it's not true, but if it is, I can understand the reasons. Maybe they're getting strong-armed and the money and stuff, and with same situation happening with Frank's dad dying, the same thing happening. But there's a lot of parallel. It's weird, very weird. The universe does that. And Kujo's saying the same. I really like the location they have now. I like the walk, and I like someplace that gets less casual tourism. Yeah, I thought it's a good idea if they're right opposite each other and you can kind of bounce between the two. But the distance was good as well because the pot still would pick up certain people. and then the Bon would pick up at certain people. And the Bon, like, I know people that drink in the Bon, that's a local. And they used to be like regulars at the State Bar across the motorway years back. So when I go in the Bon, I'll bump into them all the time. I bumped into them this time, and it's always lovely to see them. But they're local, and so if with the Bon moving down further into town, it's a further walk for them, etc., etc. So there's a lot of give and take, but bit of drama. Pete, fuck, so I have to draw a love community. Thanks for this, David. No problem, Pete. Always a pleasure to come in. Welcome you in. You're welcome any time. And I hope everything's going to be well with you and the family. Much love to you. And we'll figure out a way of getting sorting out the Edinburgh crew, Lowlander and Alan, with some woven gear. I've actually got the next thing after the pot fell well bit was a huge thanks woven for the bag. I've already done, but Rig Hill Burn. If you're not following them on Instagram, get on Instagram now. If you're watching me on the phone, you can hopefully fling it away and you can do it. Rig Hill Burn, RIGG. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm just going to put the at it's Rig Hill Burn. Whiskey content, beautiful photography. It's all very it's the way I would love my merch to be. But Rick Hilburn brought out these fantastic hats, these hats, baseball caps, and as I'm prone to do in the Bon, I'm just going to pull up what I need to pull up here, so I remind myself of everything, all the details, so I'm not wrong. But in the Bon, I'm talking away. It's Saturday night, full flow, chat, as you do. And it turns out one of the guys I'm talking to is Gordon, who is Rig Hilburn. It's Gordon Burniston, who the next day I was with at the blind challenge for Aquavitae, and he took those amazing photos. And that's his brand. But the irony is, if you've watched the videos on the channel and you saw the Kentucky trip where I went with my good mate John Paul, JP, he knows JP, and his partner knows JP, and he's watching my whiskey videos. No, knowing me, just knowing me as a Glasgow guy doing whiskey videos, and he's watching them, and then who pops up but John Paul, and he's like, JP. So Glasgow's a small place. We're connected, so we're chatting away, and we got chatting about hats. I can't remember why we were chatting about hats. We were chatting about hats like Don Draper, and like there's somebody in the Bon that was wearing a very dapper hat. That's what it was. A very kind of flat brimmed, like you could use it as a weapon almost. And we were laughing about it. And then we were talking about his hats that he'd made. And I loved them. And how Billy Abbott's got one and Jeff Whiskey's got one. And they've all got like... And I thought nothing of it. Just late night chat. And the next day at the blind tasting, he was actually sat beside me. But before that we were out and he went in his bag and he pulled out an envelope and went, "That's for you, David." And he gave me a hat. And I was going to wear it the night, but somewhere in the house, I've still got it in the envelope he gave me it in. It's somewhere in the house, and I've kept it in the envelope because I was like, no, I don't want it. I want to wear it, and could I find it? So, but one of the reasons why I was late, I was trying to find a hat. But he gave me the intermediate spirit receiver hat, which I love. I love how it's exactly in my wheelhouse of niche. Just niche upon niche. Up there with my 3500 UK 3500 rest of the world mug, that if you know you know. But look, give him all the love on Instagram, check it out, and if you like the hats, please buy the hat, support him, because he's another one. You don't make money out of doing this. It's a passion project, but his photography is phenomenal, brilliant. He took so many great shots for the blind taste challenge as well. Oh, that woven's brilliant. Honestly, I sing the praises all the time of woven. And yes, I know Pete, but it's no... Good whiskey's good whiskey. What was that? It's 45%, so That's why I was like, that's went down really easy. Really easy. We've came out the other side of that allergic reaction. Whatever was going on, my eyes calmed down, noses calmed down. We're all doing well. Right, guys, next dram. What are we doing? We've had the woven. We're doing Springbank. We're doing rare breed. I think I'm going to go for the rare breed. I think. This was on from the Osbers chat. This 58.4%. Jeez, oh, I never realised it was that high a proof. Jimmy Russell, Wild Turkey. What can you say? As I mentioned, the Elijah Craig was one that was nearly bought. Well, the Elijah Craig was the one that was bought. The Russell's Reserve was the one that was nearly bought. Fresh bottle opening. This was a deal. So a lot of the stuff I get is deals. But this was a deal on, was it Macallan? There was some weird glitch or error. I got 4 bottles of it, and I think it cost me 40 quid for the 4. Hence why this one's never been opened. That was a while ago, a couple of years ago. Oops. Get that later. Oh. Brilliant. Lovely. Exactly what I needed. The whiskey must have canned down your cold. Whiskey, the best medicine in the world. Exactly. Can't you get sick if you just keep drinking? Kills the germs. And I can smell again, like properly. Oh, it's good stuff. I can see why that was voted so highly. You need to make someone a moderator with the ability to drop links. Yeah, I know. James, there's loads of stuff I need to do with this whole thing. That was the plan yesterday. Best laid plans, do you know what I mean? 46 quid on Bezos at the moment for the rare breed. Brilliant. The 101 was probably... I think I went 101. I used to, like... When I used to be a barman way back in the day, we had Wild Turkey as the house bourbon in Sloan's. So I used to work in Sloan's in Glasgow. And my manager at the time, he raved about it. Loved it. But the 101 I'd never tried. And then I tried it when we'd bought the house. I'll never forget, we'd bought the house 2018. And it was a probate buy. So it needed a lot of work done to it in the nicest terms. And I remember I was sat stripping the walls. I was whitewashing them. It was a Saturday night and I just had my phone. That was the only thing. The house was just my phone. I was just painting. And I'd bought for the first time Wild Turkey 101. And I was blown away. Still really early. Like, this is still early in my whiskey journey. Massively. But I'll never forget that, being blown away by the 101 and just drinking it in the back room and thinking, wow, what a dram. What a really good dram this is. And so I've always had that affinity with it, and the rare breed just takes that to the next level. And I've never properly got into the Russell's selection, which would have been the other buy in Glasgow. So I kind of regret not buying both, but by that point I never had any space in my case. James has picked up the 12-year-old Bart 1792. Oh, a lot of good bourbon flying about as well. There was a whole section I was going to do tonight, right, about whiskey bargains, and I ran out of time. However, by God, now's the time. The Whiskey Exchange, you can get Billy Abbott, who called out his pick, the bottle he picks up all the time it's on sale. The Game of Thrones Clynelish is under 35 quid. And it's not watered down, it's clear as day, it's a drinker. I think it's about 33 quid right now. You can get my vote for World Whiskey of the Year. One of the best whiskies I tried last year. A whiskey that's stuck with me ever since. A whiskey that Mac Campi Planet agrees. Other people agree. The Chichibu On The Way 2023 for £215. Now that's a lot of money, absolutely. And I can't quite bring myself to pull the trigger. I will if I don't get any Springbank this week, because I've got my whiskey fund saved up. I'd brought a fund for Glasgow, didn't buy any whiskey because of just circumstance and time. So I have my whiskey fund saved up. If push comes to the shove, I will buy that. 215 quid. They have, what else do they have? I put tabs on my laptop, but it's up in the house. There's a lot of good bargains. Get on the Whiskey Exchange website, go to offers, click on whiskey and go through it. There's tons of stuff to be having at the moment. Just what you're saying about that Barton juice, because there's bourbon coming in left, right and centre at the moment as well that's in great deals, because they can't get rid of it. They can't get to Canada. Canada's like, we're not taking it. Whiskey and Lemsip, it's a staple cold cure in our house. Just need to make sure there's a cheap bottle of Irish in the house. Cheap but decent. Jameson stout, I'm pretty sure is what Woven use in their Irish coffee, and their Irish coffee is, don't care, I'll go head to head doing it, the best Irish coffee you'll ever have. Graham Dram saying, never realised I need a spinning whiskey display stand in my life. Look, it was originally bought to make videos, but then I discovered that my hand just isn't smooth enough to keep it turning, so I looked into buying a turnstile and I bought one. Turntable that spins it, and it's terrible. But movie magic. Really handy. Let me see. Yeah, they were never limited release. They were special release Lowlander, so they had tons of them, absolute tons of them. I've got and it's funny because they weirdly spike in price at times. So I've got the Royal Loch Nagar that I bought, because Royal Loch Nagar, I never know if I pronounce it right, but has a special place in my heart from my bartender days, the old school bottle on the shelf. So I bought that one. I bought the Oban, the Black Watch bottle, not the Black Watch, the Night Watch bottle, and then what was one I bought? The Dalwhinnie. I bought the Dalwhinnie in Seville, and then weirdly the Dalwhinnie started spiking at auctions, and I was like, this cost me like 15 quid. I flung it to auction and it went for like £80. I was like, happy days. I was in no great rush to drink it. It was just because I was like, that's only £15. And the sets themselves do this weird pattern of like peaks and troughs in value. I don't know if it's people manipulating the auctions or what, but I find like certain ones, the Mortlack, the Clynelish, they're good drinkers, especially at that price. Like Clynelish for 32 quid. 32, 33 quid. At that percent over, it's like 54, 55% proof. Like it's good. Alan saying, I remember when I was a kid, my dad coming home from the pub, they had some sort of wild turkey promotion. He had a set of poker dice. I remember playing with them. Need to ask if he still has. See, like, I think they should bring, I don't know if pubs still have these promotions. Like, where I am in London and that, you're not getting that. It's too transient, so you're not going to get like that kind of, like the pub gimmicks that you would get back home. But I've got up there on the top shelf, actually, you know what? I'm going to go and get them. I'm going to show you them. I think you guys will appreciate this. I'm going to cut to the drams. He's got to hear me crunching my knees, walking into the chair. Forgot to mute the mic. But childhood memories, talking about that. Alan, your dad coming in for the pub. Going to my grandparents. Now, my gran used to smoke. My gran never was a drinker. But they had these Dominoes, and I played with them as a kid. Learned to play dominoes on them. And when I built the Black Lodge and I built the bar, I went on eBay and I was like, I want them. And I found them. Don't know if you can see. Silk cut. Dominoes. With the original matchbook, right? And they're hard. I hope they're no ivory. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get them out, to be honest. Let me see if I got something I can pop one out with. But just you saying that reminded me. And it's funny, isn't it, how like you remember these things from childhood. Like, I can't zoom. I don't have the autofocus on, but we silk cut, solid, and it's stuff like that. Bring these back. Do you know what I mean? Look at the tobacco. The white's different. It's stained. But it's stuff, little things like that. It's exactly what it's all about. I was saying the Glover was a standout for me during the weekend, but still thinking about the young Glen Scotia, both massive, brilliant. Ian, off now, guys. Thank you so much, Ian, for tuning in. Absolute pleasure to have you in. Let's see. Has anyone heard anything about the Bruichladdich Rye? Bruichladdich Rye being released in the UK. It's been out in the US for a couple of weeks. No, not at all. I still have a bottle of the Clynelish Game of Thrones. Get it opened because you can get another one for 33 quid. See how it is, let us know. I'm saying that's brilliant. The low tar that ladies love. It's mad, isn't it, how the world's changed? There's a bygone, there's an era that people just don't know. I'm sure it's the same for every generation, but cigarette cards, explain that. Along with ESO World Cup coins and madness. But if anybody's ever fortunate enough and you find yourself in the Black Lodge, there's lots of little things like that. Being a barman since I was 17. I was 18, but it was an island. You didn't know. Since I was 17, and just I've got you can see behind me, I've got the slalom lager, and then I've got, is it behind my head, the Tennant's jug, and I've got McCune's lager, ashtray and stuff like that. Oh, Tennant's ladies. I know. Well, not that type of stream. I'll leave that to the others. Right. The lager lovelies. Try saying that at midnight, bang on midnight. Oh. So getting way back to basics. Rick Hilburn, Mr. Burniston, thank you so much for the hat. Really appreciate it. The Newbie's verdict. So I was meant to play Ben's video now, but I wanted to play it early because people forget. People tune out and don't see it and whatever, but I just thought it was so good. In terms of other whiskey news, as we mentioned, it is Springbank release week. Flying off the shelves. A lot going on there. It's good. It feels like it's kind of coming back. What was interesting about the festival was myself, Ben and Varesh. And Varesh is part of Springbank Society. He got in there before we did, and then they shut it off. We didn't go. We didn't go at the Springbank stand, or the Kilkerran stand. Like, we were being really selective with what we were drinking, and we just didn't fancy it. Because we were like, well, we know what it's like. We know it's good. So I've not tried any of the latest releases. I don't know if any of you guys have. I know a few of you did get the bottles. If they've been opened or not yet, don't know. I've yet to see anybody chat about them, so I'll need to check into my whiskey group as well and see how they're doing with it. That's been happening. As we mentioned, Living Souls bringing out a lot of bangers. Fragrant Drops bringing out a lot of bangers. Thompson Brothers just releasing wave after wave of good stuff. Ben Nevis coming up today announced apparently, I'm not a rum guy, but 2 good rums. Who else have we got? I think it's quite an interesting market. We've not even talked about Macallan bringing out their kind of like their 100 proof or whatever it is, but 50% whiskey, and it's all kind of shifting quite quick. But the market feels like there's a bit of vibrancy to it. I think I'm going to be doing a video about this. Spoiler alert, but there's a lot of positivity back in the market, which is really nice. I think this time last year we were a bit the downward curve, and we were kind of seeing the tail end of the drop off, and everybody was a bit, oh, don't know what's going on. Whereas now I feel like we're a bit more vibrant, I found that at Glasgow, everybody was just a bit upbeat, really infused, really like excited with what was coming. I know that it wasn't like that last year, but there did feel like there was a wee bit of what's next year going to look like. So I hope 2026 is going to be banging on that front. Adrian tried the Hazel one 10 at the festival. It was lovely. Managed to get a couple of bottles online. Brilliant. Alan saying the cask strength 12 bourbon is good. Yeah. The cask strength is always... Is it... What's the makeup, Alan? Again, I've not even done my research on this. Because that one there is the one that's... I can't remember. Is it 60-40 or 70-30 bourbon to sherry? And it's brilliant. And as I said, the Springbank 18... that I took up to Glasgow was 100% bourbon. I wasn't really into it. Which I still don't understand myself, but just in a collector stash, I'll doubt many get open. On a few of them, yeah, I think a few of them just won't, in general. I don't think that Pheno's getting opened by many, to be honest, because everybody seems to be chasing it, paying silly money for it already. Lowlander saying I got a Jack Daniels harmonica at a bar as part of a promo. I don't think drinks companies' bars are allowed to run those types of promos in Scotland due to the licence laws these days. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think so. I remember working in the state and there was an amazing poker set. I had my eyes on it. I was like, oh, can I get it? Can I get it? Because we never ran the promo for some reason. And then it got given to one of the regulars for a birthday present. Gutted. This poker set was unbelievable. Back when bars used to make good stuff. So maybe that's it. No, you say that at the Whisky Festival last week, North Star got bloody dishing out fezzies and sombreros and that. So if you see pictures of the festival and there's people with sombreros and fezzies on, that was all Ian Croucher's idea. He was dishing them out. And then he said maybe Diageo will bring back the Terence Lovelies back for whiskey bottles to boost the flagging sales. I can tell you right now that will not happen. Not in a million years. And Lowlander got the Springbank 12. Brilliant. Eli saying for Springbank releases, I rank them Springbank 15, Local Barley, Cask Strength, Pheno 5, and then Hazelburn. Right, but is that your palate? Eli, are you saying, are you no huge on like that sweetness? Because Hazelburn 10, like a Hazelburn to me is quite a sweet, soft dram. The Springbank 5-year-old was quite a big topic at the weekend. Very Marmite. Some people don't mind it. Some people hate it. I did it on here a few streams ago. And I found it I was like, oh, this 5-year-old. And then you have it with the 10, and it's mad how they change. But the thing I kept saying to everybody, very middle of the road at the weekend, like sitting on the fence, was Springbank 5-year-old at 100 proof. Like, what would you expect it to be? 15. Brilliant. What's the makeup of the 15? Do you know? Did anybody tell you? Local barley, always good. Last year's local barley was good. The year before, phenomenal. The year before that, good, I think, if I remember. It wasn't my favourite, but it's kind of, for me, it's kind of went a bit like that. Cask Strength's always good. Pheno, so again, maybe it's sherry, not sure. It's quite dry. Personally, it felt as though Spring Night release was either really big or just more available than I've seen. I think there's a lot of people just not buying it anymore to flip. I think that's actually happening. I've not been, as I said, I've not been out and about this week to see what the shops are doing, but I saw a few messages in my whiskey group of places in Glasgow just having plenty of it in the shelves, which is really nice. That's not ranking the Kilkerran and Peated it's also come out as its hard one to fit in. Yeah, I know. I need to buy this one. I need to buy this HP and I need to buy the last one. Purely because I've got that OCD-ness. I need to fill in the collection. I've got every single one of them. It's killing me. I need them to stop. They just need to stop the batches. Just stop numbers on it. Just have it consistent. Surely they can just have it consistent by now. It's 100% bourbon, this 15. Right. That worries me a wee bit. Oh no, sorry, the cask strength's 100% bourbon. The cask strength. Right. Just because of that Spring Night 18, I just found it quite underwhelming. It's really strange. Fino is the dry sherry, yeah. When I went to Herod's, so I don't know if you've seen it, but went to Herod's. Oh god, I just got a huge update in chats. When I went to Herod's at the start of the year, she explained what the Fino was and stuff like that, but then I had like 8 glasses of wine after that, so it's quite hazy in my memory, to be honest. So I'll probably need to watch back more on video to remind myself. But yeah, the Fino is, from what I remember, very dry. Definitely palate influence, but that Spring Night 15 is a great release this round. I've always struggled a bit with the standard Hazelbird 10. I do enjoy it in sherry or a cask strength cage. Right, got you. Bought a map from someone on Facebook, went to pick it up and had the full collection of Tennant's Ladies cans. First time seeing it outside the brewery. What? So hang on, you bought a map of someone off Facebook, went to pick it up, and did you have to follow the map and then discover in a bush the full Tennant's Ladies? Like, more context. I believe that you've went to pick it up and it's in his house, but come on, indulge us, give us an adventure. One take on the Springbank 5 is, because it's always going to be 5 year old in bourbon, it will be the closest thing to a Springbank consistent bottle with little batch variation. So is that, they brought out the 5 this year again, well, this release. So they must be confident in the supply, just to keep, they must have lots of it then. Aye, fine. Springbank 10 sitting on the shelves for a lot longer these days. Yeah, yes it is. It's nice to walk into places and just see different ones and knowing that the place has it behind a door or whatever, and they can just keep it refilling without people coming in and try to sweep it up. In my glass, the Kilkerran 12 right now, so well constructed, never had a bad Kilkerran. Nah, Kilkerran's great. I really like Kilkerran. I've got a Kilkerran 8 bourbon cask back there, and it's fantastic. You need a strategy, odd numbers. No, I can't, because I need the you've got to have the set. Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man vibe with it. You're saying, tried this 12 cask strength release at Whiskey Fringe and it was amazing. Right. I heard rumour they want to build up the age statement for the 100 proof 10 years old. This is a rumour, just yeah, that'd be good. 100% sherry, but it's a good mix of cask. I think a decent amount of refill. How's the sulphur on it? There's been a few 15s where the sulphur has just been mental because of the sherry, but I think hopefully they've got that under control. And yeah, Fino can be, it's Spanish. What's the Spanish? Like, again, we're after midnight. I'm going to go to the internet. I'm allowed to do that. Let's see, Fino. Let's do definition. It's the driest and palest of the traditional varieties of sherry. She told me, what was it? She said, watch the video. She says in the video what it is. On that Harry's video, and it's so kind of cutting. I remember it being quite like to the point, what she was saying. But it's definitely an interesting makeup to go with that, especially from the other ones that they've been doing with the PX and stuff. But I think people want the set now, so maybe that's why it's so in demand. You know, it's in supply of 500 proof. It's driven by the production increase back in 2019. They're not using all those, so that will help increase the supply of the 10 by 2030. Well, seeing you were at the distillery recently, like that, brilliant. We need this. I need more people tuning in who are just visiting every distillery in Scotland and can just feed that back in. Graham saying, had displayed on the top shelf around his garage, seen the odd can elsewhere, but the lot clean, not a buckle on any. Oh, amazing, man. That's the stuff that's like 50 years from now, Antiques Roadshow. Holly Willoughby's presenting the Antiques Roadshow, and she's like, oh, what's this? And it's like, my great-grandfather loved lager and women. Here's this collection of lovelies. Brilliant. Fino matured whiskey might be something you might like, honestly. And then Toby's saying, it's a safe description of bone dry. Practically no residual sugar, no caramelised fruit sensation for flavour and reductive fruit. Regarding the sulphur, certainly not meant sulphur, but not when I picked up. This was the favourite of the new releases. Brilliant. Let me try and find it. There you go, and I liked the Thompson Brothers Glengarioch during the under the table tasting because it wasn't sherried. But that was the sherry one, wasn't it? Because of that. I just want to get this on the chat. I want people to understand that Peated had a sherry dram and enjoyed it. The world is becoming a strange place. Guys, we're coming up. It's 12:15. I'm going to do another 5 minutes and then call it a day. Now, if you are on my Instagram or not seen Instagram, I put up a wee reel that was all taken exclusively with this. This was my first foray into YouTube videos. That's what I used. This was the G7X. A wee flip up screen. I got a wee dead cat. It's called over the mic. There. I used to video on this. You can see it's pretty battered now. I've had this like 10 years. Got this when I first met my wife. But the kids love them these days. It's bizarre. See if that was in better condition. These are going for like £800 now for some bizarre reason because they're all hype on TikTok. But the back screen's buggered. The shutter doesn't shut. But I made a wee Instagram reel with it if you want to go and take a look of all the photos. It's very hangovery from The Hangover. At the end of that, I just kept it in my pocket and then I forgot on Saturday night I had it on me and I should have been just snapping away because it would have been, that was the point of me having it on me. But I just wanted to give a wee shout out to the ever loyal G7X, as my old team used to call it at work because I used to take it everywhere. Dad cam. That's the dad cam. Exactly. Look at that. Screenshot it. He told me, honestly, Alan, he told me on Saturday, and I looked at him, and I looked at the sky. It was before we went into the festival. I looked at the sky, and I joked, and I said, I think I've just seen pigs fly by. Never in a million years would I have expected that. Yeah, exactly. Look at this. The world is upside down. But last thing I forgot to mention, and I put this purposely here. Was it you, Lowlander, that said to me to try it? Someone told me about the James Eady 100 proof blended Scotch whiskey. It was on the stream, and they said you need to try it, buy it, it's on sale, or someone messaged me on Instagram saying it's on sale, try it. And I did, and it's brilliant, it's really good. And so I put that in my bag as a memory to be like, remember, if you can get it again, get it. It was really good. It was 100 proof. This is the 80 proof, the wee booklet. But so good. Let me see. Let's go. You need to look at the sky to see Frank. I know. Genuinely, the first time I met Frank in the flesh last year, it was a big shadow. An eclipse passed over me, and I was like, what? I just seen this big guy, and I thought, oh God, whose father's this? It's probably. Keep in mind that if we talk about sherry whiskies, it is 9 out of 10 Oloroso PX, the latter one of the most horrible of the bunch. Like saying so many bits of trivia from a distillery around that I should write it all down. Here's one. They're gearing up for a 40-year-old anniversary for their 2020 anniversary. I'm sure it's priced out, but still. Remember they were bringing out this yearly release, remember? And they were selling it for silly money to capitalise on the hype, and then that just stopped. Maybe this will be the next one. Not sure it was me, but that James Eady 100 proof is a great dram for the price. It was definitely someone. It was no Euroland, it was someone on the stream as well, who was singing the praises. And I'm sure they said it was in Woodwinters, it was on sale. And they sent me a link. And I missed out, it was already gone. Next year, Peated will be at the chocolate stands printing these shows. Rinse your mouth. Lads, honestly, what a pleasure to spend an evening with you guys, as always. But I'm going to call it a night. I've only done, look at that as well, only half a beer. Tell them all. Plenty of tissues scattered about for the nose. But thank you for dealing with me throughout it. Thank you, Roy Aquavitae, for the very generous super chats. Unbelievable. No need to do that. I will say, if you're not on the Patreon, please, guys, if you want support, always welcome. I will hopefully be back next Saturday. I'll need to check the family calendar, because that's what we need to do. But fingers crossed. If not, I'm in Glasgow on Tuesday. I'm back on Wednesday. Eli, I'm missing you. You're lucky you're getting out. You're getting out of Dodge as I'm coming in. But fingers crossed. Come on, Scotland. We just need to beat Denmark. We're going to get absolutely pumped. We're Scotland. That's what we do. But till next time, all the best, guys. Cheers.